Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to another Tales of Foundation Repair. We are back here in Carrollton, Texas. Okay guys, so we're gonna walk around the house, and first than anything, I know I sound like very repetitive and I always say the same, but this house as well, the downspout are just draining water next to the house. So I know that may sound like crazy, but it really affects a lot the foundation. So it's very important to extend the downspout at least like 4 feet away from the house, so you avoid foundation problems. Because if you see all of our videos, if you watch all of our videos, you will be able to see that all the houses we fix, none of them have the gutters or drainage adequately to the house. Water is coming off the gutter. See? So all this water is just being bottled in here. You can see how we have small holes from where the water digs through the soil. And then here we have the gutter here, the downspout, just draining all the water next to the foundation. So yeah, that's bad. That causes a lot of shifting along the years and a lot of erosion. The water is just digging through there, coming all the way here, so it can slopes down towards the street. So the problem with that is the erosion that is causing. On this corner, you can see that the gutter has an extension, so that's good, because in here the downspout is draining on the sidewalk, and on the sidewalk is just following the slope. So it's good because it's just draining through the sidewalk. So an extension like that is how it should be. The expansion joint in here was already repaired, but you can see how it's wide open. It usually is like just about ½ inch, and here we have an inch. So we're gonna see where the piers are going to be installed in just a moment. See, again, we have the gutter just draining next to the foundation, and the splash blocks is already buried in the ground. So again, the extensions are very important. Okay guys, so now we're gonna take a look at the drawing where the piers are going to be installed. Okay guys, so here we have our drawing. I know it's a little bit hard to see. So our piers are going to be located all across the front, coming on this side, and as well on the front of the house here. So we're gonna have to remove a lot of the bushes, and we're gonna try to do it as best as we can without damaging them, so they survive. Okay, and the guys are just arriving to the job site, so we're just gonna start prepping out. We're gonna mark the location of the piers, and we're gonna get started. So it's about 9 AM and we are done with the first hole. Let's walk around the progress right now. As I was explaining before, because of all the water being drained next to the house, now that we do the first holes, you can see here how it's filled with water now. So all that water is because the soil is oversaturated. It's been raining a lot. But of course, if there was an adequate drain system along this side of the house to drain the water to the street, we wouldn't have that. The problem with the water like that is that because the soil is oversaturated with water, it expands and it loses compaction, the compaction that was provided by the builder when the house was built. So because it loses compaction at the time the soil expands, when the summer comes and it dries, the house is going to drop down, and that's why we have the settlement along this area of the house. We have to install a few piers right beneath the floors. So Julio is breaking through the brick and the concrete right now, so we can install those piers. Here you can see how the grade beam is really deep. So the grade beam is somewhere around like 4 feet deep in here, maybe 36 inches, which is pretty huge. So it's kind of challenging to dig these holes because of the depth of the concrete. So we probably don't have enough material right now. I think we have about 200 cylinders and the top caps. So I think we have like 12 top caps, like 12 200 cylinders. So like I said, as soon as Carmelo finishes with his second hole, he's gonna start installing the piers to see how far it goes into the soil to reach the load-bearing strata. Okay, so now let's get back to dig more holes. Okay guys, so the problem in here is that also they had a French drain installed into the house, but unfortunately it's not properly done. The problem is that there is no pipe. I already do about, we can see 36 inches deep, and it has no pipe, it's just gravel. Of course, this is not really working because there must be a pipe that goes all the way into the street. Here, they just have this around the house, but I couldn't find the pipe in there, so that's the reason the water is just staying on the trench and it's not going anywhere. So that is probably why the house is settling down on the first place. So it's the same here. We have some gravel in there, but we can see the pipe in reality, and all the water is just draining below the foundation. The soil has a lot of water. We're installing the piers right now. So Carmelo is here pressing the piers down into the soil. So you know, we are using our hydraulic pump and we have our concrete cylinders, and he's just pushing them down and see how far they go. Here I just wanted to show you, like, we think the drain comes all the way here to the back, and then this area of the house is actually higher. We have like an inch higher in here. So now that we found about the drain, we know that the soil in here is super saturated with water, and it's most likely because the drain is not working properly. It wasn't installed the way it's supposed to be. Like I said, the gravel is fine, but there should be a pipe inside or beneath the gravel that will drain the water all the way to the street, instead of just staying right there. So as we were explaining at the beginning of the video, there is a lot of water under this house. I thought it was just like the slope and the gutters, but it's also like the combination of the gutters just draining the water next to the foundation, and then the French drain improperly installed, so the water is accumulating, the house is accumulating a lot of water beneath the foundation, which caused the foundation failure. So we're also going to recommend to install the French drain properly. And also, when you have the French drain installed around your house, the best thing to do is to have the downspout plug into the drain so everything can come outside. So all this water that you can see here, all this water is coming from beneath the house. It's not coming from the drain, it's coming from the pump. We're using a sump pump to drain the water from the holes, because if not, we can't dig anymore. But usually what you will see, like on this side or behind me, is that when you do the drain, you come all the way here, you go under the sidewalk, and then we always cut the curve in here so the pipe goes towards the street and everything drains along the street. So yeah, that wasn't done properly, and you can see all the water around the soil around the house, because like I said, the trench is just holding the water, it's not helping it drain. So that's what is happening here. That's the problem. So right there where Mika is digging, there is no drain in there apparently, and you can see that the soil is not wet as in the other side. So like here as well, here we didn't have the drain in here, and the soil is not as wet. So as you can tell, on this scenario, the supposedly French drain they install is actually creating more problems instead of helping the house. Okay, so right now we're here with Carmelo as he installed the piers. He has about 11 cylinders beneath the house already, and we're just about 4,000 psi. So we probably need another 10 feet to reach the load-bearing strata. He's just gonna keep pushing piers all the way until we get there. So we're probably gonna need a lot more material. Like I said, we had 200 cylinders and we're doing about 18 piers, and each hole, each pier is taking about, well, so far we have 11 and only 4,000 psi, so it's gonna probably take about 25 feet deep. So we probably need like another 300 cylinders in order to finish this job. So we're just gonna let Carmelo continue pushing the piers and see if we can start or resume digging the hole we were digging. So now it's 11 a.m. We're gonna have lunch now. The holes are filling with water so much. The homeowner just came here and I just explained him about the situation with the drains. So yeah, the problem is that they're not properly installed, so that's the reason the house is accumulating a lot of water right next to the foundation. So it's better to fix them. So the best thing to do in order to fix the drain is have the pipe run all across the trench and go all the way to the street. And of course, if we fix this, then it's gonna be a perfect time to extend the gutters into the drain and have them draining the water all the way to the street as well. So by that, the house should be stable after we do the foundation repair. So we're just having a quick recovery rest before going back to work. So it's our lunch break and we take about an hour. Then we're just gonna continue digging these holes. We're not sure if we're gonna finish. Hopefully we can finish digging today, and as soon as we finish digging all of the holes, then Mika and myself are gonna start installing piers along with Carmelo, so we can finish installing the piers. And our goal is to finish tomorrow with all of the work. We're also gonna provide an estimate for the French drain to the customer, and if he decides to do it, then we're just gonna get that done as well right after the foundation work. Hey guys, so I finally finished this hole. It took me 3 hours to dig it up. As you can see, it's still filling with water. We already discussed with the homeowner, and hopefully he decides to get this done, because unfortunately, if this is not corrected, then the problem will continue to happen along the house because it's just so much water. This French drain is just trapping all the water around the house, and that's really bad for the foundation. The guys are just finishing with their holes right there, and as soon as they finish those holes, we just need to dig 3 more holes on that side of the house right next to the one I just finished. In the meantime, Mika and Carmelo are installing the piers. It's the same as with the excavation. installing the piers is being more challenging because of all the water we're having beneath the foundation. So we're having to work with the sump pumps draining the water so we can at least work. But we at the same time need to be very careful because everything is electric and there's a lot of water, so we're just being extra careful in here. So these holes already have their piers installed. We have 6 piers installed already, which you can see in here. Each pier is going about 22 to 28 feet deep. As we go to that side, it's getting softer. The first one went about 22 feet deep, and then these ones here are like 24, and Mika is in the other side of the house here, and they're going as well like 24 feet deep. Okay guys, so we are here at 2000 Industries. We just got another 250 cylinders for the job site, and we're just gonna head back over there and continue installing piers. We're just gonna do a quick stop at the gas station. We're gonna get some beverages and maybe some I don't know, some snack for the guys, and we'll be back at the job site really soon. Okay, so we're back at the job site. The guys are already unloading the material, so Mika and Carmelo can continue pushing the piers into the network. So the trailer is empty again, and it's now about 3 p.m, almost 3 p.m. So we're just about to call it a day. It's getting really hot right now. We've been working since 7 a.m. Most of the piers are being installed already. We have all those piers here installed. We have the top caps ready to start setting up the bottle jacks. Here, Mika has already installed this one. There, over there is a dual pier. Like we have 2 piers on one hole, so he's going over that right now. We have all these cylinders here for those holes right there. Each pier is going about, on this area, it's taking about 28 feet deep. So yeah, it's going really deep into the ground, but that's good. The further we go is the best for the house. And Wahama and Julio already start digging the piers here. They're doing 2 piers in here, and then we have 1 more next to the fence. But a lot of progress today.
jardín. Salió la chamarra, man. Salió la chamarra.
Qué trabajo lo que hicieron aquí.
Chamarrito y ese cambio,
No sirve ese trabajo, patrón. ¿Qué hicieron? Que salga al YouTube, patrón.
al cero para la calle, que está sobre el agua.
La radio, un cochinero. 4. Okay guys, so you're probably going to wonder why we just dumping the dirt here on the yard. So what we're doing is that when we finish everything, we're gonna backfill the holes. If with the dirt we have around the house right now we don't have enough, then we're just gonna grab all this dirt and put it back again. If we have enough and this is extra, a lot of times some companies will take it away from your house, but we recommend you to leave it in here. Why? Because even that we pack the soil as best as possible, with the rain and because of the lift, the soil where we dug, it may settle down after a few rains or a few months. So if you call us, we will come back and regrade all the soil around your house. Also, another thing we do is, let me show you. So here, all this area has a lot of erosion. There's a big dip, and of course, even for the shed, it's better that we're just gonna level this and we're gonna make an adequate grading where the water from the rain is just gonna run smoothly towards preferably this side. So the water is just gonna come here, and then it's gonna drain through here. So that's why we're adding soil on the low areas, because this soil, like I said, here as well, you can see, you see this cracking here is because probably the concrete wasn't adequate. A lot of things, you can see the problem when you hire cheap labor, or sometimes unfortunately you pay a lot of money and they do crappy work like this. So they only have like 4 inches on the concrete, and then they have a pergola in here. It's a nice pergola, but unfortunately the concrete apparently has no rebar, and because there's been erosion, this is the main reason. Like, the concrete is too thin, but if it had something supporting it, this wouldn't have happened. But because we have erosion, the water has been washing the soil away from here, the concrete had nothing beneath it, so the weight of the pergola made it crack like that. So when we do this, when we do an adequate grading around your house, we're actually helping to avoid and control the erosion and minimize the risk of having the patio and everything shifting and moving because of the soil. Okay guys, so we are calling it a day today. We're just gonna stop. They do a little bit on those holes. These holes are already full of water, so we're gonna have to pump this out. We have to dig another one just the other side of the fence, and we still have to install like 8 piers. So tomorrow I'm gonna start helping Carmelo and Mika to install the piers so we can do it faster. But because of the wrongly installed French drain problem we have, like, it's really slowing us down. So we have to deal with that. We wanted to finish this job in 2 days, but apparently we're gonna finish until Wednesday. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Hey guys, good morning. So we're back at this job site. It's our second day working here, and we're gonna start installing the piers. So we already got more material. We stopped by 2000 Industries in the morning, and we purchased about another 300 cylinders. So total we have about 700 cylinders on this house just for 18 piers. We also got some concrete spacers. We have our top caps, more shims, and then all of the cylinders. So they're taking about 26. Some holes already took 30 feet deep, the ones on that corner. So yeah, we're using a lot of material in here, but that's our goal. Our goal is to go as far down as we can. So I'm gonna start working on this hole here. We have about 20 cylinders around the hole. We have our hydraulic pump, it's already plugged to the electricity, our ram, we have our shims, and we have our steel spacers. So we're gonna start working here. So we're gonna start pushing the first cylinder down into the soil. Of course, the mud makes everything harder to work with, but let's see how long it takes us to install this pier. So we have about 11 cylinders in this hole, and we barely have about 4,000 psi. And now we are 18 feet deep and we have about 6,000 or more than psi. So we are around 7,000 psi. So now we are 24 feet deep. This is gonna be the 25th, and we have around 9,000. So here, this pier is ready. We got to 9,600 psi, and we used 25 cylinders, which means it's 25 feet deep. So then the next step is here. We're gonna have to set up our top cap so we can set up the bottle jacks and lift it. But we still have, I think we have like 6 more piers to be installed. So all of the piers over there have already been installed. All these piers have been installed as well. The ones Mika is installing here, we have 2 piers on each hole, so they're taking longer. We're using about 50 to 60 cylinder on each hole. Moises is finishing doing another dual pier in here. We have one in here and we have another one there. And then right there we have one in the corner and one in front. So these 3 holes alone are using somewhere around 200 cylinders. And I just finished installing this one here. So now I'm gonna start installing this one on the corner. So I think we're gonna need more material because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we probably need like somewhere around 8 more piers, 8 more cylinders in here. And the guys are doing 2 more holes right behind the fence. So we still have to install 2, another 2, 4, and these 5. So yeah, we have like 9 more piers to finish. Like I explained yesterday, because of all the problems the house had, we're not gonna be able to finish today. Well, we're hoping we could, but we're just gonna work as much and as fast as we can, and hopefully tomorrow is just gonna be a little bit in the morning. Before I start installing the pier, so again the hole is filled with water, so we're gonna have to use the sump pump again to drain it. And this one is gonna be harder because more difficult, because the hole still like dripping water from the soil. So yeah, it's definitely heavier and slower. Okay, so we just drained the water. As you can see, it's all muddy, and we're gonna start installing this pier as well. Okay guys, so another pier ready. So we went like 32 feet deep, as you can see on the previous hyperlapse. Right now it's lunchtime. The guys are just finishing with the last two piers on that section of the house. After they're done with that, they're just gonna move into those two piers, and we have two more across the fence. So we're almost ready. We just need to finish installing 4 more piers, but as you can see in all the other videos, it's going really deep, around 24 to 32 feet deep. 32 feet deep is that one on the corner. It's the deepest pier we have pressed on this house, and it's probably because on that corner all the water is where it accumulates because of the improperly installed French drain. So right now we already used a lot of the cylinders that we brought this morning, probably half the trailer, and I'm just gonna go get some lunch so we can continue working later today. It's lunchtime and today we're eating Burger King. Okay guys, so it's almost 2 p.m. on Tuesday, our second day of work, and we still need to finish installing 2 piers. Carmelo is already halfway into almost the last one, and then Mika's gonna start with the last one. Some of the piers on this end of the house went about 33 feet deep, so it's taking a lot of material, but it's okay. I mean, we need to make sure that this is not gonna happen ever again. So we have all these piers installed, and Moises and Julio are starting to set up the bottle jacks on all of the piers. So all this is done. I think this side of the house needs to be lifted about 1.5 inches, and I'm gonna check the level right now, just after I show you everything. So you can see these holes, they already have the top caps, and we already have some cylinders in here for shimming. So all of those top caps already in place. Here. So usually, or more, it's not very common to find the beams like this. So those are the footings of the house, and you can see how they are like pretty good, maybe like 42 inches deep. So these holes had to be really deep in order for us to have enough clearance to install the piers. And of course you can see in this area of the house the soil is way drier. That's because the drain is not around here, because all the other areas where the drain was installed, they're just flooded and oversaturated with water. So they have the bottle jacks here ready. Like I said, Moises is already installing the bottle jacks. I think he is starting over there. So he's right there, and I'm just gonna get the level to start checking the level inside the house and start prepping out for lifting. Okay guys, so we are inside the house. Our customer just bought this house. So before we check the level, let's take a look at and see around the walls if we have any damage. I think we don't have any damage in the inside. It's most likely that because the house was for sale, they probably fixed all the cracks and everything, but we don't have any right now. So usually you'll have the cracks on the corners like this right there. Sometimes it shows where the joints between one sheet of drywall and the other one. It's also likely to have cracks here on the windows, but we don't see any of that in here. So like I said, probably they fixed all of the cracks in order to sell the house. Of course, but when the inspection was done, in order to close on the deal, yeah, the foundation problems were visible. Of course, because I mean, even if we don't have cracks, at the moment we check the level, we're gonna see how it slopes down. So yeah, we don't have any cracks around here. I know for sure, I think I saw one, but no, we don't have any cracks in here. But I'm sure I saw one in here. So that side of the house over there, that side of the house is higher, and then this side is about 1.5 inches low, but we're gonna measure that anyways. So here on the bathroom, you can see the crack here. So you can see this crack on the tile. Here in Texas, it's not very common to have tile. The houses, they're always gonna move. Even if it's not moving a lot, there's always gonna be a little bit of movement. So yeah, I don't see any crack around the wall. So like I said, it's most likely that they fix all of them. Here you can see that this frame is kind of uneven. I don't know if you can tell on the video, but the framing is a little bit uneven. But like I say, here and towards the back, it's higher. It's about 1 inch higher. So we're just gonna level out. The recommendation from the engineer was just to level out here to match the center of the house here. So we just need to make sure that the entire front and that side of the house is level with this area. So now, as I was gonna tell you, here in Texas it's not very common to have tile on the floors because even when we do foundation work, we have a tolerance on our work of 1/2 inch. So if the house is moving within 1/2 inch, we consider it a seasonal movement, and then we don't adjust anything. If it moves more than 1/2 inch, then that's when we trigger the warranty and we adjust the piers and we make them level just the way they were when we finish the work. That's the reason we always record the final elevations. As you can see on all the videos, every time we finish the repair, we always document the final elevations. That way we know how it was, and if it moves more than 1/2 inch, then like I said, that's when we trigger the adjustment. So we're gonna set up our zip level now. So we're gonna use this area as a reference point. We're kind of the center of the house, considering the distance from that side all the way to the other side. So this is our center. And we're probably a little bit more to the front than to the back, but I know the back is a little bit higher. So like I said, from there to here, we probably have like 18 feet. So we're gonna try to level to this area. Now we're just gonna set up our zero here. Okay, we have the zero. Let's walk around the house. Okay, if I'm not wrong, this is the lowest area of the house. So yeah, we have 1.2 inches lower. I'm glad that it's not a lot, because this house is very, very heavy. So hopefully we can lift the whole inch and bring it back to a more flat level. So here we have 1.10. Let's check here, which is like 10 feet away from the outside. So we have like 0.9 in here. And then we have .4, 0.5. Okay, that's good. Perfect. Let's come over here. Let's check this area on the front. This is the opposite corner. We're gonna call it the left. Or no, the right front corner. The other one was the left. If we're looking from the street towards the house. So here we were, as I said, we have 1 inch high on this side. We have 1 inch low in here. So the difference in this room is crazy because it's 1 inch higher in there, and then we have 1 inch low in here. So of course there's gonna still be a difference on the elevation. Let's check the whole levels, and then I will explain you the goal on this house. So we're gonna check over here. So this side is also higher. So we have about only 1/2 inch. Now remember guys, this side of the house is definitely way higher because the water is just being trapped on the trench that they do supposedly to install a French drain. So the house is heaving because the oversaturation of water. There is so much water underground that the house is heaving. So once that problem with the drainage is fixed, we expect this side to go down. It's not gonna be immediately. It could take up to 2-3 years, but definitely we're gonna see an improvement on the elevations right after they fix that. So here we are in the laundry. Okay, so this is 0. See, these areas here, even this bathroom, so this is the house. We know that's an inch higher. Over there is like 0.7, 0.8 higher. This bathroom right here. So here it's level. So you can see by that it's only the perimeter that is higher, and it's like I said, because the soil is heaving because there's so much water. Then on this side of the house is where we have the drop. We have about an inch drop, and there's a lot of water as well. And you may ask, why is that side is not heaving even with so much water? Well, the problem is that the water affects the house on different ways. So what happened over there is it causing heaving. What is happening in here is that it's causing erosion. The soil on this side is getting washed away, and also the soil already lose the compaction that was provided by the builder when the house was built. So because the soil loses the compaction with the expansion of the soil, I mean the soil expands and it loses compaction because of all the water, so the house drops down. So this is the area that we need to lift. So here we still need to check the back. We know that our 0 was somewhere here. Let's make sure that it's 0. We always need to make sure a couple times that the 0 is still being the 0, which it is. Good. Then let's take a look at the back. Okay, so we only have about, it's the same, like 3/4 of inch higher here on the back. So the other side of the fireplace. Yeah, we have the same elevation. And we have 0.3 in here. Now the kitchen, we just need to check a couple more spots, a few more spots in here. Like this one, here we have minus 0.6. And then here inside the house, we have minus 0.2. Okay, that's good. So now let's go back to the front area where we have all the problems. So this is definitely the worst part of the house right here. This is really, really low. And let's check here again, because the measurement here was about an inch low. Yeah, 0.8. And then the front is about 1.2. So we're gonna have to lift this corner of the house as much as we can. So this is 1.4. So we have twice as much here compared to there. So the first thing we need to do is lift here at least 3/4 of inch. If we lift 3/4 of inch, then we're gonna check the level again here in the inside and see if it has changed. It's very likely that by lifting the perimeter here, this is gonna come up a little bit. I don't think it's gonna become 0. Then as much as this comes up, we're just gonna make the outside match this elevation here. What do I mean is, so we're gonna lift there, again, I'm gonna explain it. So it's 1.4 along this side, so we're gonna lift it to make it 0.7. And then when all that area is 0.7, it's very likely that this is gonna become probably like 0.4, 0.3. So if that happens, then we're just gonna keep lifting there to make it 0.0 or 0.3, whatever elevation we have in here. What we can do is, if we're lifting that area, and let's say that's 0.7, and this remains 0.7, then we can lift more on the outside, because then the house is gonna cave in towards the inside. And of course, if this area is just like 0.7, I'm sure it's gonna become at least 0.5. That's not a lot of difference, and that's the work that was recommended in order to restore the stability and integrity on this foundation. So the repair plan is always created by the inspectors, considering the quality of the construction, the thickness of the slab, and based on that we can expect how well is the work gonna go. Sometimes when we inspect the foundation, if the inspectors use the ground penetrating radar and they see that the foundation is too small, like it's not thick enough, then we know for sure that we're not gonna be able to level it properly. But when we see a strong foundation like so with all the piers we have on the outside, and each pier going 33, 28, 24 feet deep, we know for sure that they're not gonna go down any further in the future, and they should definitely be able to lift the house, but we're gonna find out. So let's see if the guys finish installing the bottle jacks. If not, we're gonna help them, and then we're gonna start lifting. We're outside the house again. Moises is setting up the bottle jacks here. So he's on this hole. All of those have been set up already. Let's take a look at them. Yeah, we have the bottle jacks here ready to lift. So all these bottle jacks around here, they're ready to lift. We don't really need to lift a lot in here, but we need to lift about an inch in here. It's pretty much, we need to lift about a whole inch all across the front. So I'm gonna start helping Moises to set up the bottle jacks, but I don't think we're gonna level today because it's already almost 3 p.m. We've been working here since 7 a.m. So honestly, we're tired. It's a lot of work. All this mud makes the soil, the dirt, really heavy. So in order for us to install the piers, to dig, everything we're doing is being way more complicated because of all the water we found in here. Also, the holes are huge, as you can see. We normally dig smaller holes, but in here they have to be huge. They keep filling up with water. So yeah, definitely the French drain needs to be fixed, or this house is just going to continue to shift. And like I said, after all this work is done, if the French drain system is corrected, then we need to wait about 1 to 2 years and see how much that side of the house shift. It's definitely gonna shift because the French drain right now is keeping it high. So after the drainage is corrected, like I said, we're gonna expect some movement. So we need to keep track of the elevations maybe every 6 months for the next 2 years. So like 2 inspections in the next 2 years, or three inspections, so we can monitor how the measurements are changing. If that side of the house settles down and gets closer to 0, then we can call it this good, and then we just need to make sure that it won't go any further down. If we see that it drops to 0 and then it continues to drop, then we're gonna have to install piers on that side of the house. And like I said, this is a consequence of the inadequate drain system that was installed around this house. That actually created a lot of problems. The house is shifting a lot, and it's all because of that. And as you can see, also we are out of cylinders right now. So with this trailer we had used a total of like 700 cylinders, and I think we still need more to shim the piers. So we're probably gonna need another pallet, so that's gonna be 800 cylinders for 20 piers. Okay guys, so right now while Moises is setting up the bottle jacks, we're gonna measure and see how many lineal feet we need to fix the drain. So I just finished measuring the whole house. The best idea to drain the water is to take it to do the drain towards the back. We have a bigger drop going towards the back alley than towards the front, so we'll have to install 30 feet coming from there all the way here. Well, here is 30 feet all the way here. Then we have 100 feet all the way to the back, another 100 feet all the way to the back, and another 25 feet. So we're talking about 250 linear feet of drain. We have to dig about 32 inches by 12 inches trench, and then we need to install the pipe with the collection basins and gravel and make sure that all the water drains all the way to the back, so we can make this area of the house drier, and we can make the other side of the house settle down a little bit, because right now it's too high because of all the water. Okay, and now we have all these bottle jacks ready to lift. Now we still have to install all these bottle jacks here, but we're just gonna start picking up our things to go home. So tomorrow we're just gonna come back. I already spoke with the homeowner about the drain, so tomorrow when we finish, he's gonna meet me here to see the finished foundation work, and we're gonna discuss about the drainage. And let's go over there, see what the guys are doing. Okay guys, so these are the last two piers that we installed, and this one here, Carmelo says that it took like 45 cylinders, so it's crazy. The soil is too soft, and it's because of these like stupid drainage that was installed in here. So finally we finished installing the piers. It took us 2 days to install 20 piers, which is crazy. Sometimes we can finish this type of work in just 1 day, normally 2, but now it's gonna take us 3. So yeah, it's all crazy amount of cylinders and crazy amount of labor. So now we're just going to pick up all the tools, and then we're just going home, take a rest for the rest of the day, replenish energy, and then we'll be here to finish the work tomorrow morning. Hello guys, good morning. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd day of foundation repair here in Carrollton, Texas. So we're gonna finish with this foundation work today, and we're just gonna start lifting and leveling right now. So let's walk around that. So we have all the bottle jacks ready, and we're gonna start lifting on this corner. This is the lowest area. We have to lift first about 3/4 of inch, so we're gonna pump the bottle jacks about 30 times, and then I'm gonna check the level inside to see how much we lift with that, and then we're just gonna go to the other side as well to match the new level here. But let's start doing that.
Hola.
So these holes, we have 2 piers, and we need to lift the 2 of them at the same time. The guys are lifting outside, and as they lift, we're gonna check the elevations, just like we did yesterday. So right now, we're just gonna make sure that the house is level. So here is 0. So we're still lifting. We're just gonna check the measurements to see how much we have lift. We already pumped like 40 times on each bottle jack. So I thought the house was gonna be a little bit harder to lift, but just what we wanted. So here we lift a little bit more than 3/4 of inch, 0.5. And the guys are calling me, so just give me 1 second. So now the guys want to lift on this area, so before they lift, we're gonna check the level. So here we have 0.4, this was minus 1 inch, so it's much better now. Let's see this one. The same, we have about a 1/2 inch down here. Almost 1 inch, 3/4 of inch. So what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna lift and this dual pier, this one, and those over there. So let's give them the instructions. We just finished lifting the house. I'm gonna show you here real quick. So we have the bottle jack. Here you can see the gap. So the house was sitting in here. We lift about 1 inch. It wasn't too much, but the house is very heavy. So we had to do it very slowly so we didn't damage anything. There you have it. That's how much we lifted already. You can see how as the house went up, the soil that is next to it went pull up. It was pull up, so you can see the gap here as well. This crack is because of the lifting of the house. And all of the piers are ready to be shimmed right now. So let's get outside the hole. So here we have all the piers with the bottle jacks, and the next step now is going to be start shimming and removing the bottle jacks, and then we can start covering and backfilling everything. So the guys are just gonna start shimming. Okay, now that the house is level, we're going to walk around the house and see if we have any damage on the drywall, the walls, the doors, or anything like that. So there is no damage around the walls on this area. This is where we lift about 1.5 inches in here. We lift about 1 inch and we don't have any damage. Normally the damage will happen in here. At the moment you lift there, it's normally, this is the area where the damage normally happens, but we don't have anything here. Now let's go into the kitchen. The same, we don't have any damage in here, so that's good. Now let's take a look at the other areas where we lift. This side of the wall, I don't see any damage either. Now there is a small crack along there, so I think that just happened. It's hard to see with the camera, but on the naked eye you can pretty much see the whole crack. It's just a small hairline crack going across like this. So I'm not sure if that's new or old. We don't have any damages in here. And the door actually closed pretty good. The only thing is this one, the lock is not, well, it's actually closing. So it's not completely closing, so we're gonna try to adjust it just here. This is also that normally happens because, you know, the door was working properly with the house being level. Now that we level it, it shifts a little bit in there. The good thing is that the actual door and the frame is good. We just need to adjust the lock, so that's good. Then here, we don't have any damage. We don't have any damage in here either. Let's try this door out. So the door is actually working, so that's good. And we don't have damage in here either. Now let's take a look in here. So we have a small crack right there. There's a small crack right there. But the windows and everything else is good. So yeah, it came up pretty good. Let's take a look here. So yeah guys, like you can definitely see that the foundation work didn't cause much damage to the house. I just found some evidence, you see, that paint means that what I was explaining yesterday is right. So the whole house was kind of like they fixed the old cracks and they painted it in order to sell it. And what is good is usually when that happens, and you do the foundation repair after the cracks are fixed, you will expect the cracks to come back again because you're moving what was repaired with the foundation being uneven. But as I'm showing you in here, we don't have any damage and we lift the whole inch in here. And the reason we don't have damage is because we did it very slowly. We lift the house, pumping on different areas around the foundation, doing so very slowly. And that way you minimize the stress, cracks, or anything caused by moving the house. So we're good in here, and now we're just gonna go back outside and see how the guys shim the piers, and then we're just gonna start backfilling and clean up everything. Okay, so Wahama is ready shimming one of the cylinders on the pier, and he is pulling the bottle jack out. Okay, so there it is. So because he had the other cylinder on place already shim on the pier, when he removed the bottle jack, the house didn't move at all. So we're just doing the same all around the piers. So now, after he finishes removing the bottle jack, he has to install another cylinder right there. So the whole cylinder doesn't fit in there. He's gonna cut a little bit of it. Now let's try again. Still a little too much, so maybe another 1/4 inch. Just making sure the end is even, so the pier or the cylinder won't crack with the pressure. Now it fits perfectly in there, and the last step is adding the steel shims. Órale, viejito. Guau, guau, guau.
No, patrón. Ahora me pongo de culito.
So we need to make sure that they get in there, the shims get in there with a lot of force, so the house won't move at all after we cover the holes. So that's it. That's the pier finish. Now let's take a look right there real quick. And as you can see, it's full of water again. So, I mean, the water is not gonna be a problem. The piers are about almost 30 feet deep. Some areas more than that, but then we're good. So here you can see all these piers have been completed. So now it's time to start covering the holes here. So all of these holes are shimmed. So this is a dual pier. Carmelo is just finishing shimming that one. But we're gonna start covering the holes now. Hopefully we can finish by lunchtime. So as we cover the holes like this, the next step is going to be, after usually Julio finishes shimming piers, he's gonna come with a hose and start packing down the soil. We're gonna use water to make the soil settle down as best as possible, so we don't have sinkholes down the road. And you can see that Moises is covering here. We already have covered 4 holes over there. So we're gonna resume covering holes in here. So the guys are finishing shimming all of these piers. So we're almost done with the shimming, and then we're just gonna continue covering holes in here. Okay, so we're almost ready with our work. We're just finishing up backfilling the holes. We're also putting water into the holes that we already covered, just to make the soil settle down. When we add water, we help the soil to go as deep as it can, so we don't have any sinkholes down the road. So you can see, like, these holes, they're almost all the way to the top, but as soon as we start putting water and packing the soil down, it goes down a lot. So let's see the other side here. So now we have enough room to put all that dirt back in there. Here we're just doing the same. So from here, we're just gonna go behind Carmelo doing the final touch-ups to finish the repair. So right now we're just gonna start grading all the dirt around the house, create a negative grading that will help the water be pushed away from the foundation. We have to do all around the house, and we have to grade the dirt that we spread on the backyard. But we're almost ready, so it's gonna take maybe another hour until we're all done. Hey guys, so we are back inside the house and we are almost ready with everything. Right now I'm just going to check the measurements again, so we can just verify everything is the same as when we lift. At the moment we pull out the bottle jacks and everything, sometimes something can shift. I didn't notice any of that, but right now, like I said, we're just gonna re-measure the house, make sure that everything is good. And let's start on the highest area of the house, which is over here. We already have the level. So let's come and get the zip level. We're just gonna check the zero again, make sure that our zero is 0. Sometimes it changes. The cord of the zip level has oil inside of it, so it's good to always verify a few times that the zero is not changing. So this is our 0. Yesterday I showed you here on the tile, so we're gonna do the same. There might be a little difference because of the flooring. So yeah, see? So we have a 1/4 inch difference from right there to here. So this 1/4 inch difference is definitely because of the tile. The tile is a little bit higher than the laminate floor, but we know that. So most of the house has laminate. That's the reason I got it in here rather than the tile. So we know this is 0. And from here we're gonna measure all the elevations. So we're gonna start on the highest area of the house. So if you watch the entire video, you will be able to see that this side of the house was higher. So it's definitely the same because we didn't do any work on here. So we know this side of the house is higher because of the drainage issue, and it's about 1 inch higher. So we have 1.0 here. This is positive, so it's 1 inch higher. But if we move over here, this is just about 12 feet from the perimeter wall right there, coming into the center of the house. and here we have 0.3. So we know for a fact that that side, like I said, I've been repeating this over and over, but I just want to be clear that this side is higher because of the drainage issues. The house is heaving on that side, so the drain needs to be corrected in order to stop that problem, in order to stop the house from going up even higher. Then here again, so if you look at here, we have 0.6. We have tile, so there might be slight differences. If we come on this side, again we have an inch higher. When we're back into the laminate, we check here on the center of the house. We have 0 here, and if we check on the perimeter wall here, it's gonna be high for sure. We have 1.1 in here, 1.0. And we have 0.9 in here. So this is the last pier we have. In here, we just use this pier for support. Then this side here, this was about 0.7, almost 1 inch lower. I don't exactly remember, but it was about an inch lower. So now we have 0.3. So as you watch right now, all this side of the house has about an inch higher. Then here, if we follow a straight line towards the back, it's a level. ¿Qué pasó, Juan? Now here, this is an exterior wall as well. This was like minus 0.7, so we have minus 0.2, minus 0.1. Then as we come here, the entrance door is right behind this wall. Here we have minus 0.3. Then here we have minus 0.1. Okay, so let me get up here, get stuff. Now we're gonna continue measuring the house. Once again, we're gonna make sure the 0 is still 0, so we don't have any mistake. So yeah, our 0 has remained the 0 so far. Then,
Sí,
¿va a la garage?
sí, quiero ver las brechas para...
Sí, está para ahí.
Quiero cortar ahí, pero para no meter cable.
Oh, sí, está ahí. Okay, sorry, the guys were talking to me now. So we know that, I'm just gonna recap real quick. We have an inch higher on this side, then all this area, somewhere around 0, 0.2, 0.3, but it's almost level. And as we come further into the garage, we're gonna check in here. So we have 0.3 in here. Now let's check the entrance door. We know our 0 was 0 still. Now here we have 0.0 as well. Now on this side of the house, on the before lifting the house elevations reading that I showed you guys, this area was like 1.3, 1.4 lower, an inch lower. Then this was almost an inch low as well, like 0.8 or 0.7 low. So what we're supposed to do on this scenario, because 0.7 is not too bad where we need interior piers unless it starts caving in. But what I explained and what we did in here is that with the outside piers, we lift as much as we could by matching this elevation. So we know in here, this must be our 0. It is our 0. Yeah, 0. Then we know the entrance door is level. And here, the front. Okay, so this is minus 0.4, and this is what I wanted to show you. So this is minus 0.4. Here, this area, right in the center of the house, not the center, sorry, just we are about 18 feet away from the perimeter walls, from the back and from the front. And our measurement here is it's about 0.6 low. Now at this corner here, so minus 0.3. We have minus 0.4. Sorry, minus 0.5. Five. .5. Minus 0.3, minus 0.2. So what I'm showing you here is that the elevation across this entire area is about minus 0.5 to minus 0.3. So that's not a big difference. It's not a problem, because now if we check the entire elevations across the house, everything is level within at least 3/4 of an inch from side to side. So the building code states that it's okay to have up to 1 inch of drop over 35 feet of distance. So in here, from there all the way to the front, we have about 75 feet distance. And then from side all the way to the other side of the house, we have about 800 feet. So what happens here is that we are within tolerances. Even that area is still about 1/2 inch low, everything else in here is about 1/4 of an inch, 0.3 inches higher. And then the front is like 0.4 to 0.5 lower. So our total delta difference is just about 0.8 or 0.5, 0.8 in the worst scenarios. But like I explained, we have well more than 35 feet or 30 feet of distance. So if we have about 0.5 or 0.8 of difference from here all the way to the front, we have just about we just have less than an inch over a 75 feet distance. So that's pretty good. It's a pretty good level. Even new houses may have that. Now we already recorded the final elevation. I'm gonna show you that. So here we have the final elevations. The red numbers are the new ones. I'm just gonna send this to our office so they can put them on the computer. But as you can see here, all the measurements that I just show you with the zip level, I recorded them in here with the phone. So we can tell the difference. This was about 1.5 inches low, and right now it's minus 0.2. We have minus 0.5 in here, minus 0.2. So everything is really level right now. Our elevations are really good. So we're ready, and now we're just gonna walk outside. Wahama right now is just cutting the bricks. They're making the hole perfectly square so we can patch the concrete. I'm just gonna pick up my level, and we're gonna go outside again and check on the progress of the guys. We are on the final steps to finish the repair. So everything is pretty much complete. We're just loading up the trucks, cleaning up our tools, cleaning all the debris and trash around the job site. But you can see that all the piles of dirt are gone. All the holes have been properly backfilled. We packed the soil with water and cover all the holes. We created a negative grading, so all the water now is going to be pushed away from the foundation. So it's pretty much ready. Like I said, we just have to put all the tools and everything back into the trucks, back into the trailer. We're just gonna do a final walk through the house just to make sure we clean up all the trash. This is how it looks once we're finished. And we're gonna take a look at the patio here at the back of the house. So the homeowner told us to spread the dirt around here to make it level. And Julio and Carmelo are right here. They're just finishing with that. So we're just grading the soil in here. As I explained on the previous videos, the grading in here is going to help the water that's coming from the patio, from the pergola, to drain here and drain towards the back alley in here instead of just being trapped by the fence over there. Now we have a few more piers here. The last two piers we installed were here, so all this is cleaned up. These two piers in here, they went of around 35 to 45 feet deep. So all this has been covered up, and this is just the last thing we need to do. So I'll show another video right after we finish everything. It's gonna help the guys spread the dirt in here to make the grading and make it level. But first, let's go to the front and grab a shovel to help them. In the meantime, we're just gonna walk around here. Let's take this can of soda from the ground. So that's it, guys. I'll show you everything when we are fully complete with the repair. But yeah, so you can see the big difference now. The good thing is that the doors and everything are working fine. There are no new cracks inside the walls or anything like that, and all the dirt is back to where it belongs. So yeah, maybe just another 30 minutes and we'll be done, and I'll show you everything. I'll show you everything again when we have cleaned up all the yard and everything. But this is how it looks. This is the process, and we're almost ready to go home. Another house successfully fixed by iFIX construction. So the last thing I forgot, Mika is cleaning the bricks, so we're gonna patch the bricks right there. So we already patched the concrete in here. So that's it, the concrete is already patched. Now we're just gonna install the brick so it looks like we were never here. Now yesterday after the work, I stopped by to get another 120 cylinders. So today we only use approximately like 40 from the whole 120. So in total in this house we use approximately 750 cylinders. So yeah, it was a lot. But like I said, the good thing is that the piers are really deep, and they shouldn't fail or settle down in the future. I mean, if it happens, it will be crazy, because we will expect that 40-30 feet deep is enough to reach the real bedrock.
Que le pregunten al patrón, ¿qué hace patrón?
Okay guys, so we are ready with the repair. Everything is finished and we're just gonna walk through the finished results. Everything has been cleaned up, covered up, and then we're just ready to go home. And tomorrow we're gonna start another repair in the Colony, Texas.
Hey, levántale el peso.